Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Where Now. This is episode 2 of the comeback season, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for supporting us in our other episode. Bonile maneza views, maneza. Keep watching, keep subscribing, and I promise you we'll give you some good content. And of course, I've got Base with me. You guys know him from last week. He joined me, did an exceptional job, in fact. But I've got another man with me. And in Padle Yellow Bones, okay?
The main guy.
Yeah, in Padle Yellow Bones. Karengo Base, that's a Womye, Schroeder, Sinks. What's this introducing? Puti, because introduce someone called Banda Babugale.
Anabuliza Babugale Vakaya. Opolam Gudenia, currently at CUT, friend of Junior Balena Petangwamu. A couple years ago, I was watching We Are Now, and now I'm beside the guys, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Sabulela manam sabulela uvile la mkuteni so sinphatla abantu abarolayo sinphatla abantu abakwazirola man fondini man mkuteni. All right, so but we've got so much to bring to you guys today. The Rugby Championship, of course. You know, Australia took on New Zealand in the Bledisloe Test. Banger, absolute banger. And the Boks took on Argentina in a very narrow win there. It was a 21-22 win for the Springboks. After that, we're going to go into some schoolboy rugby. I know we had some big games. We had Queens take on Salborn. We're going to talk about how that went. We had Kingswood take on Graham College, and we're also going to get into that as well. So thanks so much, guys. And before we get this started, make sure that you hit that subscription button. Thank you. Schoolboy rugby. Starting off with Schoolboy rugby, I know we had some big games the weekend. Salborn took on Queens College, and Kingswood took on Graham College. We want to start with that Kingswood game. You know, I've got a question for everyone. You guys here as well, you can answer, but especially for you guys back home. And I hope you guys are going to answer me, in the comment section. Kingswood went and beat Graham College, right? But my question is it fair, or do we now crown Kingswood as kings of the EC? They've taken on Dale, beaten Dale. They've taken on SAC being St. Andrews.
They've beaten everyone.
They've beaten literally everyone. But I say but because they don't play Grey, they don't play Salborn. All right.
They played Salborn.
Not this year. So now we're talking about this season. All right. They've beaten absolutely everyone. I personally think even if they did play Salborn, they were going to win. They're going to take it. All right.
It's questionable.
You think Grey is questionable?
Yeah.
Why?
It's Grey.
But Grey is not. I honestly think Grey is not having the season that they usually have.
But it's fairly good though.
That's the thing. Fairly good. Grey's never been fairly good.
A fairly good side of Grey can take on a Kingswood good side.
Just one question. What has gotten Kingswood to where they are at this point in time? Why are they doing so well?
My answer for that, I think, I think, the recruitment of the coaching staff. Very important, the recruitment of the coaching staff. I mean, this year they went and got, last year, where they got James Winstanley, and alongside Tabo Touch Susa, who's doing a stellar job. So I think it goes to Landoba. Recruitment, Kingswood has been excellent.
And the man was Kingswood.
Of course, bro. I mean, must get fees. I'm sure a song up. As far as the place is Galileo. Yeah, well, I mean, they've got the money to recruit in on their kids. I mean, so I'm sure coaches there have a nice big fat salary. We're not. As far as not disclosed, even if we wanted to assaz, but they can recruit players. I know they've been doing a whole lot of recruiting, but going to the coaches, I must say, if you notice with the schools that are doing well at the moment,
yes,
they've got the coaches, but there's always an element of a young coach.
Just to bring in that dynamic side, you know, that skill set, that excitement. The guys that have played rugby, in the past 5 years, in the past 2 years, they've really came in and brought in so much information, so much coaching, and they're interested. Where back in the olden days, a coach used to tell you he must get the ball and he must run it.
Yeah.
So we're getting to a new era where there are coaches that are so informative. They got so much information and they're doing so well. I think in all these schools where you go to your Hudson, to your Dale, to your Queens, to your St. Andrews. I know King is there. Matthew King used to go to Salborn College, was scrum off. He's coaching there as well. I mean, we're talking about young top coaches. So that's something to look forward to the future. You know, we're doing well there. We're doing well in that department. That's why I'm saying at the moment Kingswood is doing so well. They've won against such big teams, such big teams, and they are a formidable team. I just want to see next year how they're going to be. That's what I'm looking forward to. Gray, Hensi Paul is saying, Gray is always there. It's been there year after year, year after year. Then it brings me to the question, why do you think that Kingswood College isn't playing your Salborn College? Why are they not playing Gray? So you're going to tell me over a side that has done well over a year in the past 10 years where they've been poor, well, let me not say poor, but they've been decent. But for you to compare them against Gray, come on, Jimmy, come.
No, Mamela, let's call it off on Ifaka before. I'm I think Niklando where you guys
what's picky is
it's only a piggy is
facts.
So only a piggy is pigs and facts.
Is that us?
Pigs and facts.
Give us facts then.
That's Teta getting a performance of Kingswood. How Kingswood's been doing in the past 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, but
2 years. 2 years?
2 years in the Manga Kingswood.
For the couple years, Kingswood play for good rugby.
Kingswood 2022-2023 has been a formidable force.
That's a big deal.
Kingswood 2 years. Max Tura, Shingi, Manyamara, Joya Kuza, Mutihu, Yabo, Kutalo Karen Kingswood. Kingswood last year, Yenze Mess.
It was decent.
Yabo, Yenze Mess, Kingswood. Hi? It isn't.
It was decent last year.
It was decent, man.
It was decent.
Sure. Wenyaga?
Good. You can't find it.
Exceptional.
Sure. Kingswood, you better Queens.
You better.
Queens, Inja Wenyaga.
Solid.
Number yacht. But you better when you don't.
Kingswood.
Okay, sure.
Ekram College.
Ikram College better.
And we are Italian Ekram College. Ibali is better you. It's Papa yes, Stefani. I bet you what you are.
The time about Tom. The time is I. Tanga Machita. Time about Tom. And watching that game, Shem, he didn't really.
Understand?
Yeah, he didn't really.
Didn't you pick me from the
put all the carry team and then you know sometimes when you get tired of carrying a machita, but going back to what we were saying about Kingswood for the past 2 years, to me, feel free about the piggies, none Emaka any piggies, but to me Kingswood has been the team to beat for the past 2 years. Not to say they've been beating everyone, but
this year
even last year.
This year, Buddha.
Even last year.
Piggy is a phone this year.
Even last year.
What team was bizarre? Hey, team and goal by Pitley last year.
By Betty, and he bet one.
We lost home. One home. No, we won home.
This man, Prado, ebe from the day last year. Bet the Kingswood.
At the Jubilee.
No one I call show the Jubilee. Betty, you the Jubilee.
But we won the home game. It's a 1-1. It's a 1-1.
No 1-1. About Betanga now.
They had a shit year last year. I'm admitting.
Bruh.
You can't.
You matter base. Bruh. Penumuzo. Ani Betwana. Ewe okanye high.
It's Betty and Ali.
Betty.
Yes.
For stop putting. Tago. Yeah, but it's a big school. Household name.
But
yeah, better Kingswood.
Okay.
For the first time at the graveyard since 2014. So that's big for St. Andrews.
That's big for St. Andrews.
That is very big for St. Andrews.
They've beaten all these schools except for Kingswood.
But
let's give credit to all these schools, especially from Eastern Province. You know, you look at your Grey High School, Graham College, Kingswood, St. Andrews.
Your Marlow as well.
Yo. Did Kingswood play Marlow? No.
No.
We don't love to see that.
Definitely.
That would have been the game of the year.
I think the Kings wouldn't have won that.
I back that.
No. Kings wouldn't have won that.
Ikona Shingi.
Nobody ngakhona ishingi.
Fonini.
Nobody ngakhona ishingi.
Ishingi iport iyodwa. Ayina cleaner fonini. Iport iyodwa ishingi. Mayijikela fonini. Yo, hayi. Kunokumsola ngijikela qhagi.
Fonini, ishingi bizokwenza la nto yayo ba ibreak kwa 8 ileqela channel ka10. Ogqiba dibona la nwana ke ngoku 8. Anono 8 engu10 le nto.
Junior mazi ushingi.
Mazgaki.
Awumazi.
Mazgaki.
Awumazi ushingi.
Mazgaki Shingi. I think, yeah, you know what? Shout out to Shingi though. Shingi is up in France right now. I think he signed a very big contract with excuse my pronunciation, Montpellier, right?
Montpellier.
Na undo kumsha itini kam.
Anditanga.
So I think it's Montpellier or started France, something like that. No, it's racing.
It's racing metro.
Yeah, it's racing, man. Yeah, boy, it's racing. With Tom as well. Yeah. So Zuki Tom is also signed. If you guys remember Zuko Tom, he wasn't great. He was a very big wing. Moved him from 8th man to wing, then went to Glenwood, but he's left literally mid-season and has signed overseas. I'm sure it's a very big contract. Talking about Mr. Tom over there and Shingi, these are kids that have signed mid-season, all right? Because these kids were part of their schools. And they've left. Yeah, well, so I think it's a topic for another day where we will discuss about what's going to happen to our schoolboy rugby system when we have...
And it's that slowly but surely.
Yeah, when we have clubs from par overseas grabbing up and up. I mean, they started at Great Bloom, ending at Tibaza. Yeah, so it's going to be something very scary to look at. But let's not dwell too much on that. We're just speaking about Kingswood. Kingswood has done exceptionally well. The husband is on Pikisa, Akowe, but now...
That's a pity.
Yeah, Akowe. But I do want to crown them Kings of the EC at the moment. All right?
It's a must.
Yeah, I do want to crown them Kings of the EC. They've done exceptionally well. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next year. I trust in Mr. Stanley there and Mr. Sousa to come up with something very good for the next year. And then after that, guys, we had a Salborn take on Queen's College. And I think that is the game of the weekend with Schoolboy Rugby because Queen's betain double. If you get last year, Queens, at a Salborn in Tatap. Of you go 2023, Kwayo Command, a pin Queens at Tatap. Kwayo Fortress. Yeah, but I can't have Fortress. Salborn's metal. It's a smoke. It's some flop. What's a smoke? It's some flop. Paint to be low way at the Queens. That's a smoke suck. Tatap. Yeah, but
Yabangal.
Yabatin.
No, it was packed.
Yabatin.
It was packed.
It was a very good
It was
game.
packed.
It was a very good
It was
game.
packed.
But umbuzo wami for those, especially for those who watched, did Salborn throw that game away?
I don't believe in throwing games away.
Sure.
Bullshit that. I don't believe in that.
That.
Each team has 70 minutes. Well, that's high school rugby. 70 minutes.
Sure.
The chances that you have in the first minute, the chances that you get in the last minute, and the chances that you get in between, yes, most definitely there are moments where you should be able to seal the game. And those moments or opportunities come once in a while. And at that level, those opportunities and those moments must be taken.
Okay.
Did Queen's College deserve to win that game away from home? That's the question you should be asking. They are away from home. I'm not going to say command funding. Born like this. Born. Born. Black and white. They took them, beat them at home. Pussy didn't play. Did Posa play? The SS schools lad.
No, they both.
He did play.
No, as in a good game.
Yeah.
No. They didn't have good games. I don't think SA schools guy Poswa finished the game as well. I think he left the field as well as Usomana, the border 15. He also left the game.
Oh, what a player!
So
what
I don't think they had you know, the usual games that we know.
Just on that, Queens has done well. As much as we give Kingswood so much credit, we must give Queens College money. They've worked hard, and their games have been marginal, meaning they've conquered or had that twitch of closing games at the right moment, and that's so crucial, and that comes with experience, and they've got experience on that side. They're winning games. Probably lost to Kingswood. They've beaten Salborn twice. They've beaten Dale. Are they going to play Dale again?
No.
They're going to beat them. So what are you for? So what deal? They're going to beat Dale.
Hey.
Doesn't matter what the game is.
No comment.
Back to
you're gonna do
the aliens.
Yeah, you're gonna do that.
Take us through the game.
Let's go through that Salborn and Queens game. All right, it was a good game.
Very good game.
Very good game. Very entertaining game. Yeah. But Salborn ikwazanga ibingana finishing Salborn.
And they gave away a lot of penalties.
Yes.
Same thing that happened last year.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think there's four penalties.
In
12
total.
Points. 12 points.
So that's 12 points.
Yeah.
So now, if you're going to give away penalties like that against a team that's literally come from all the way from Ukomani to come prove a point, they're going to take those chances. And that's what Queens did. I know the last penalty, I think it was within the 68th minute towards 69th, where they were literally right outside the try line, the Salborn. All right. Scrum down. Bam. I call 9. Reserve 9. Swing it. Yeah, bunch on 12. Just as the 12 gets it, he was running through like channel. To Sean. Hey. Yeah, going to take it. Nampan. Hasba. Was a quas na.
You feel like you shot the Tisha?
Yeah, but what happened is that referee blows it just as the 12 gets the ball. It's like not back 5.
Why do you let continue and blow it then? Why do you want to have the spectators talk? Why must you bring on the heat?
when should have that ref
make a call at that moment? Back your call at that moment. Whether right or wrong, ref is never going to be 100% perfect.
Sure.
It's not going to happen. We all make mistakes. No players have mistakes.
Yeah, no, of course.
But back your decision, make that decision. Because the moment goes again, that means you're trying to correct something. It's too late now. And the guy has defense in the
So Zamogotiba, it was a bad call from ref.
It was a bad call. Just make us call quicker.
Sure. Look.
Don't get people arousing here. Don't make us question things that you're doing.
True.
Okay, so which means Mr. Morrison, I could camera better than videos garage for ref.
That's cool, but
as cool and I know.
Out the files.
No?
That's the only way was a fun guy. So that's all almost is it.
Hey,
what makes them so special? There are squads of Cooper if I was on ref. Must go trade if I was on ref when then.
I think Nyano coach Abubukele for the must start from Mutate Torres.
But in a
yeah, because Cooper ring lights. So Cooper yonke land smart ref or potter ref. Yeah, but potter ref for na bakaloku ba kheba minxiso ela hlobo lo yakho paper xa bethuka kwa uamra. Baphangele na but yeah, man, that's the amount of Schoolboy rugby that we had. The most interesting games, of course. I make sure that you do go watch those games if you didn't watch those games, and of course have your own 2 cents for Rubuya now. All right, Kemanen, we had the rugby championship, of course. This was the final round. Yeah, rugby championship. Hey guys, Springboks, man. Springboks because of Tata and Argentina. Hey, Yanzimindo. Yanzimindo thina wena ndanamga le game for ndini man. Hey, binzima kwenzeke ntoni pa?
Yeah, the game I can't describe it. It was very boring from the get-go. I was excited for the game. I was excited to come back. I was expecting a much bigger score, maybe 30. It's Argentina, but that is the boys disappointed us.
It's Argentina. Argentina's done well. They've beaten New Zealand at some point. They've beaten Australia away from home in Australia. They've beaten the Springboks. Kansas City, it's Argentina. We expected to win. Surely we are seeing recognition in Argentina. Isn't Argentina up there with the big boys? Talk to me, gentlemen.
Yes.
Utipawen.
Hey, Papa.
Top 5.
Uti Argentina, I come on top 5.
Buza.
Uti Argentina.
Yabuza lo.
Uti Argentina is with the big boys.
Masingathi xa sithetha.
Hey, wakanye wa hype bra.
They are with the big boys.
The big boys is a top 5 kanti.
Matod.
Equal big boys from Argentina.
Matod.
It's playing with the big boys.
Aye.
There's one thing playing with the big boys. But now do you compete with the big boys? By compete, but I good big boys want.
From where they come from, they are competing.
Can't fight that.
You know one in Lambile. Producer, and this is American white toast or something, man. Can I tell my daughter because I had that.
They're pushing
I
above
know
the
what they
weight.
love.
They're pushing above the weight.
They are. From where they come from,
Hey,
they are
bra.
pushing above their weight.
Hey, bra. Man, boys.
Boys.
It's my man.
Man, boys. Argentina just stronger his dads against the Springboks. When was the last time Argentina beat the Springboks?
In the last 5 years, they have.
No. Hey, bra. Okay, they have in the last 5 years.
Yes.
How many times?
Once.
Once. Yeah.
Sure.
Once.
Sure. Next.
Have they beaten you?
I put and yes up.
Who's? Is
How many times? The last 5 years, bra. Have they beaten the All Blacks the last 5 years?
once.
Once. Umville nani, ne? Go once. 5 years. Badlala ngaphi ngonyaka kabini. So 5 years nje bedlala kabini bano one win.
The Argentina.
Ngabantu abakompyuter ke ngokabo.
The Argentina.
Talking about
Better New Zealand.
You're speaking about improvement.
Progress.
Guys, Argentina has been progressing. I'm going back to even 07 World Cup. These guys made quarterfinals. 2015 World Cup. They were there in knockout stage. Like Argentina was solo power man, but as not the Sitba Abantu, they rolling with the big boys. Argentina just sitting here. If I'm no Chile, no Canada, no. You're no, serious, bros.
I got one.
Because no, the thing is,
If they can lose 1 point to the Springboks, you can't compare them to Canada.
You can't.
what are they going to lose 1 point to the Springboks? Then the next time they play the Springboks, you make 20-point difference.
Then it brings the question, where are we? Then okay, must he change it then? Let's talk about the Springboks then. If the Springboks can beat Argentina by 1 point, are we in a good place?
No.
Guys,
Are we in a good place?
it's one game. He came in one. You're telling me a team is not entitled to have that one game? Is Springboks omnyumbuzo tolokana impela the serious game.
Sukulo sini.
Andili.
Sukulo.
Ndiyabuza ke ngoku.
Okay.
Yima bra. Is Springboks nithi sizochiza i-team njani ku status soJesse Creeper? Okokuqala. Ku status soJesse Creeper uzomgcola ku 40. Uno Jesse pha.
Ebemjoga uJesse Kriel. Look at Nyama hasn't been performing. Last game he played for his
You
Springboks.
can't judge a player on 1 game, even 2 games. In a discussion.
Kaloku sesithe nge-championship mo.
Hey,
They're trying something new.
ayidifike le toast in. Noba irama man iqabe irama or something man. Ulala bewes. Ulambile bra.
Animthethelela nimamela nimthethelela.
Asifuna umthetho
Hey.
But
You like God
but for his standards he underperformed in the New Zealand game.
Is Space Invader song? Everyone underperformed in that game.
yeah, bra. I mean like we all know what can do.
Let's just scratch that.
No.
Okay.
Mhlambonile against New Zealand last year. What was he doing?
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Every other game.
Yeah, every other game.
Every other game.
So I think now when you've proven yourself as much as has, you're entitled to have a
We know what
quiet
we have
game.
in him.
Not a bad game, a quiet game.
But that was a bad game. It wasn't a quiet game.
Bad game.
From him, it was a bad game. I'm not saying he's gak. No, I'm not saying that. But he had a bad game. Normally he's a good player.
I personally think, not just to Lukanyo alone, I don't think it was bad, honestly, from my own perspective.
Look at the bad.
Welcome a little bad, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but look at the bad.
Players didn't play well against the All Blacks. But my point is, South Africa is where it is today. But I'll tell you one thing, we do have depth, which other teams don't have. I think from a position where 2019 we won the World Cup, to the position most definitely would love to have done better. But silapha ngoku. Umbuzo wam uyi-one. Are we in a good place to compete for the World Cup?
I think so.
Can we win the World Cup? Yes, I think. Of course we can.
We're not in.
As we came in Kokasile, but I'll still back the boys.
Who tell us the children?
If you got a nothing.
I'm
You got a north.
The France World Cup.
I know.
Ireland World Cup.
I know.
It was World Cup.
Bra.
Pendula, Susia Wood. It was World Cup. England Nin.
Go, bra.
2003.
But World Cup was left.
2003.
But World Cup. Good test. World Cup.
History repeats itself. Southern Hemisphere is too strong for the Northern Hemisphere. Zicho is dead, Zicho is results. You won't get into each.
I understand what you're saying, bro.
I will understand. We are yes. I will understand. We are yes.
Bra.
Sena Springboks how much it?
I World Cup. What went wrong with these Springboks? Like, kwenze ke ntoni man kuze xa bangoku azominxiswa i-Argentina fondini.
Hayi, and we use like
Yokuqala nguJesse Kriel. First answer. Kawenza yini?
Was all with Jesse Kriel. Was all with Jesse Kriel.
Hayi madoda. Wo. Yabona?
But
uJesse yazi into kaJesse. I think la mntu xa sithetha inyani. Uperforma nyani entsimbini mntanami because yambona uba I think it's we have perform conditioning, so that makes our coach Babam otherwise.
But my part, I think we are where we are because of the numerous changes that we're making. I don't think the Springboks team has been the same since starting with the championship, of the rugby championship. It hasn't been the same. So you've got to think from a coach's perspective. What is he trying to achieve? Or what's he doing? I'm sure the inspector is obviously, he's a coach. He knows what he's doing. So the team. Wait. The team hasn't changed. The team has changed. Sorry, numerous times. We haven't had a constant team where you look at the New Zealand. The guys have been consistent, playing the same guys week in and week out, having 2 or 3 changes. We haven't done that. We changed the whole team. Even the team now that's been taken to Argentina, it's a total new team. There's other team that have stayed behind.
That's because, going back to what you said, SA in a depth to do long.
Then we're going to lose momentum because we can't achieve 2 things.
Kaloko bra who's but Kaloko Salele World Cup space flight singak uthiwa sifuna 30 seater for nini. So they need to test with Wongundu. NZ doesn't have the luxury of the depth that the Boks have.
They do.
No.
NZ for nini.
No, you got a depth. I say New Zealand. I say 2. Uba Aaron Smith injured. No Finley Christ.
Circulate till we blessed.
At least you have Bofafa Gek, Hendrik Sukon, Grant Williams Sukon, Kobos Vina Hukon. You want
Hashon Lukon.
Magafuna Long Street. But talking about scrum halves, man, we had quite a bad injury man, to Grant Williams this weekend. Very similar to what happened in when CJ Stander,
when we played Ireland,
and CJ Stander hit Pat Lambie with I think was his hip. I think producer going to pull that up just now, where Grant Williams had the same sort of injury now, and when he was hit and he got quite a bad concussion. But my question is, my worry about Londo is
no penalty,
come back red card,
no yellow card.
But you know, like what call should the ref had made? In fact, before Siepa, was considered like clip man.
In the number 10
shirt. Touchdown early on. Grant Williams has stayed down.
Betwang in the straight. Ass to face.
The first 10 seconds of the game.
Game over. Now,
First opportunity to start.
yayibona ke ngoku ubra ndiyabuza ke ngoku uref uyibhuthe phi ke ngoku apha what call should he have made uref
Uyibhutile aqala uref.
yeah
hayi ndiyavuma uyibhutile
yeah
penalty should have been given
yeah
there.
clean
Only a penalty.
I-
Umbuzo.
it was unintentional.
unintentional so just a penalty
It's a penalty.
hayi ndithi khadi elibomvu futhi
Why?
elibomvu
Why?
Before I state my reason, give me yours.
xa nto yenzileyo ayo tackle ndabe yenza ne
Yeah.
ayo tackle yintoni intent yakhe xa nto beyenza okokuqala
Charge
Block
down the
over,
ball.
bro.
charge down the ball
Eh,
ngensoli
hayi bo.
xa charge down the ball bras hands in the air yabo
His hands are in there.
ebra ufika wajika laa mntu wangena emntwini bra xa uzasha down ibhola mhlawumbi irabha ndiyazi nani manene nizotsho i-comment section uba iTunes uyayithanda irabha uyazi xa utshaja down ibhola hands up ne
Yes.
uba ibhola ikubethe apha okanye wherever yabona uyatshaja down ehlobo xa ufika bra uvele ujike emoyeni
Let me give you my 2 cents.
uzotshaja down
Let me give you my 2 cents. One, the first thing that you look out for, even to the viewers, is the player's safety.
sure
I certainly believe that should have been a red card. Concussion as a result, the guy that made a foul on Grant Williams will suspend you.
oh now he's suspended
He's suspended. The player's safety, that's one.
yeah
Two, he did touch the ball going for the touchdown. He did touch it. Hence the ref said at that moment,
yeah
play on, because he did grab a touch of the ball. It did touch him and it went out. So they played on.
okay
But for the player's safety, I can't remember which section it is, which is by Cooper,
Yeah.
then I'm suspended, I think for 2 weeks, if it's not a week, I'm not sure. But I think it boils down to the player's safety. It happened to the same thing, like CJ Stander, he got a red card instantly on that game. So my question is, why do the rules change now? Change why you know the rules work. Because it's the same thing that happened. Pat Lemby was out and he was forced to retire after that.
yeah
So hence I'm saying it's the player's safety that comes first. Nobody know you do it deliberately or it's not deliberately. Player safety. You must know what precautions is now
okay
and the consequences of it.
Nangumbuzo. Championship is over. Do Boks continue testing and moving around players, or now for the next 2-3 games that they have before World Cup, should they stick to Itime one?
I think they should strengthen the team, but stick to Itime one. Because
Kaunabe manam.
look, the mishmash bayenzayo as the players needs, hey, it's not working out for them, obviously, as we can see. So I think lento yabo strengthen the team the team when they get all their players back that are injured and they play the main team that they want for the World Cup will be a good idea. Because at the end of the day, so when Michelle World Cup so if you get rate, otherwise it's a better team as a Springbok fan.
So do you think ngokuba lento bebeyenza uyimixa up team yokukhetha ngapha nangapha, was it necessary for them to play Rugby Championship
Yes,
to test out
to test out.
the combinations as Jincha
Yeah.
and players, ne? Alright, so yeah, that's our take, guys, on the Springbok game. And then, of course, we had the British World Cup. NZ took on Australia after Eddie Jones had a mouthful.
Don't be an ass, mate.
Don't be an ass, mate. Don't be an ass, mate. I think he had quite a mouthful again. And he talked about the economy going down in New Zealand after they lose. Get the prime
minister.
Get the prime minister on call. Yeah, if I were the All Blacks, I'd watch out. Watch out. Mark Tellier.
What's me?
What a game, guys, that we saw from the All Blacks in Australia. What's your biggest take or your take of that game?
Yeah, the game was a good game. All Blacks showed dominance as always. They've been showing dominance in this championship. So I feel like they're pushing above their weight, winning over team at the beginning of the season because of their depth and how they were last year. So I'm thinking that they're having a good season so far and they're ready for the World Cup.
Sure, talk to me, Buddha. Same thing.
The team. The team. I honestly feel they're doing well.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is? Momentum.
Okay.
Having the same team week in and week out, you're bound to improve.
Okay.
In the systems, good coaches, good co-coaches around them. Players have come in, players are hungry. When I talk of players, we call them non-legal wing for them. Ikile players in that in one goal, 3 in one dish, tag, pants, yogurt. 3 players. He's probably got 3 caps.
Khambeza ngegama mntanami.
Mntakamaka kaloku lo.
Nakateliya.
Nakateliya
Umthembu ke lo.
Ah yeah.
Fundisa. Umthembu la
Uthi bafundi.
Oh, umthembu.
But in all that, they've received, the one thing I like about New Zealand, you know, they back their players. They give players opportunities, especially performing at the utmost level. They do. I'll even go and name them for you if you want me to. But in SA, Ivan Rossum, that's the URC player of the season. Why engadlali? Because thina selokuthiwa yi-picking order. Bani ulinde ubani, but ubani uyadlala. Uthena ngaqala ibhoki. He's the best 10 we have.
Le nto ye-picking order iyakhetha.
Uthena uDamian Williams adlala si-10. Umuntu oqala wangadlala no-10 the whole year.
Kufakwe no-Jesse Krill.
But laa nto ye-culture. It's culture. Bakhona othathela babethu uJesse Krill at this moment. But ndifuna sibuyela with the fact that in New Zealand gives reward to the players that really work hard and put up their hand and say, bana funding, coach ndithathe again.
Example, Mark Telea, like you just said.
Who?
Mark Telea had a superb Super Rugby this season, even last year, and that's when he was given his chance.
Took
right.
right.
I think we're going to pull up a clip just now with Mark Telea creating assisting a try for Rico Ioane. Madoda
ikusi fundini wathi dust wahlala phansi wanqenqa wambukela
kuba eyona nto endikhuphayo uba uyenze kubani
laa nto kuthiwa yasezilalini fundi kuthiwa
ucorrobate zange in my life ndicinge uba andisiye ucorrobate ekhweliswe ihashe elahlobo
enemy kapips
highlight producer please ungalibazisi. All right, God, look. So good. You! I can't pin the producer, man. I got to go. What did you do? Hey!
How good is the All Blacks backline?
Superb.
The one key fundamental that's got this backline moving the way it's moving. Jody Barrett at 12. Yeah. Ooh, what a sensation. Ooh. The one most thing that they lacked for the past year, I would say, where when Nonu stopped playing, they had a Vili, Goodhue, Antonio Brown, and they were found wanting a 12. I'm actually glad they've got the solution at 12 at the moment.
They've got the solution.
Too much.
There's no need for Havili to come back. All right? No. Havili is a Super Rugby merchant. Kalamachita chisa ku Super Rugby and then umnike iskipa esikhulu simsini.
Abanokmagaya
Maslindelu na who's this kid going to Paya rather kubuye yena. Havili Bawuya World Cup. All right, cool. We'll give him a game in Namibia. Yabo.
When I was born in Namibia, no Chile.
In Namibia. What is the grill for Mama Dala? Was attacking so Namibia.
Emela ka start go start chess.
Yeah, no Havili.
Emela ke kwa pha chess fundini.
Anyansile.
I must be honest.
Nyansile.
Melba ke.
But I want to focus on Australia right now. Australia madoda mhlawumbe siyamncamela Eddie Jones. Okanye ikhona into wrong yenzekayo
asikobe yazingqamela uEdie Jones
uyazingqamela yena
uyasenza ngowethu simngqamele into azithethayo
so yena usifaka under pressure
uyasifaka under pressure
unyanisile
he's raising the bar for the expectations and then he doesn't deliver
yeah
but he's always been like that
But a win.
Nansi ncane.
But as
With England.
England.
No, with England.
But wait, you know Pempe. Come here back.
Seems like it's worth this year. Just see.
Mhlawumbi le nto uba esekhaya.
But let's talk.
Mhlawumbi yiloo nto uba usekhaya, so that's why.
I'm always going to game analysis.
Sure.
That's me. Let's look at how Australia played. New Zealand scored with 2 more tries. General play. Their physicality. They improved. Around the park, they played so well. Did they take their chances? Skeptical. Did they improve? Most definitely. New Zealand scored a try. I think most definitely they did. New Zealand always scored those tries, amazing tries. You know, especially from turnover ball. But from where Australia was a few weeks back to compete against New Zealand like that, they are going somewhere. Eddie Jones is cooking something. I am telling you now. We need to put it. And there's one thing that I know. Australia, like I said, World Cup. He's going to have an upset.
Yeah, no,
But in the battles of winning World Cup,
talking about that game, there's some standout players. Of course, we talked about Mark Talia, but how good has Scott Barrett been for this whole season? In fact, when Nimpeno, for the past 3 seasons, he had a huge hit against McDermott, producer Kaspinda, Kaskaukangelela clear producer. And then he did that to who's this? Nick White.
Twice.
Yeah. But how good has this guy been? Before we get into that, let's pull that clip up. Before we play that, my issue number 1 with Australia. U9 njani abeyethu ufunani pha u9 because
his own 5 meter.
If you're going to play there, mhlawumbe nizosixelela nina emakhaya. Fanele ithathiwe le bhola kwathiwa Mondi qala. Ngabe ndi wrong?
Wrong.
Yeah. Kuthiwe Mondi qala. Yabo kesinike ispace ska 10. But instead, straight from the top into his hands. What were they expecting? What was the plan here?
Even so, no abanayo 9 pi. They could have done things a lot more better.
Sure.
Take the ball from the line out,
Sure.
so that it defense pressure.
Yeah.
Then he can pass. But them playing off the top in their own 5 meter.
You're dangerous. Dangerous.
Recipe for disaster, mate.
Kasipe.
Look how it ends.
Short line out, Pareki.
That's a try.
Absolutely nailed.
But that's Scott for you. He's always on the hunt.
But I understand how Scott's been. You know? Credit to Scott. Hey, issue yam, as I said, as soon as I watched that happen,
It's coaching, bro.
I was like, we plan this team.
That's a silly error.
It is team.
Very silly.
At international level.
That is a
I'm not
silly error.
going to
You cannot do that at international level at all.
Schoolboy error.
At all. They had 2 options, down and out.
Yeah.
They could have driven that ball, stuck for a penalty, and play from there. That's your exit zone. That's your red zone. How you exit from there. How you exit from Landau Fundin.
Sure.
That's a silly error. That's 5 points, if not 7. Now you take all these things that you've done with Lalega, they play so well with one simple error. Hence we spoke about moments earlier on. These are the moments we're talking about, especially at test level.
Eddie Jones needs to yenzi.
I'm a ball, man. Lafund.
He needs to yenzi if he really wants to make a statement level cup. As an upset, yeah. I got 2 umnanama, yabo ayekho pepereza, kanje yathoba volume umnanama.
But just on the talk, Scott Barrett, since you're mentioning him, I think he had a stellar game against Australia. Now my question is to you guys. Sam Whitelock, bro, Derry Talik, Big Brody.
Yeah.
Wrong 10-2 and 3. Scott Barrett. Because we know Fritzelli is locked at 6.
Clean. No.
Papa Lee or Sam Kane is locked at 7. Adi Savia.
Papi Lee at the back, on the bench, sorry.
So Sam Cane at 7.
Yeah, because he's captain.
Now my question is, Enoch Z2 and Scott Barrett is on fire, mate. What are you doing? You gotta take 2 locks to start.
I would go ahead. I would go ahead. Mamela here is Nyam. Mamela is Nyam. In New Zealand, Sam Whitelock,
Yes.
I don't think we can line out specialists that New Zealand has. Yeah, but Kulanto ungakho line out specialist ungeyona ngcono kweza line outs.
Yes.
Yavakala.
Ayavakala.
Yeah, ungeyona ngcono. Who's a specialist? Engeke specialist. Yabo.
Because
Yeah.
Big Brody runs the line out as well.
Yeah.
Even Scott.
But oyena umuntu abanomthembu kwi line outs. Lixheko.
Sam.
Lixheko.
Akuvumela.
Start Ixheko, bro.
Pika
Xa
futhi.
lidiniwe Ixheko. Hayi ke. Sitshintsha amagiya.
Ufake ba.
Sitshintsha amagiya. Sifaka uScott ke ngoku.
Also uScott umshe benchini.
Na uScott makahlala ebenchini.
Uqonda udlala White Lock.
Yabo. No uzodlala White Lock, but xa siya World Cup, I think maybe njalo.
I don't feel.
Ana mina ngilenda kuyo. That is amaxheko.
Yeah.
That is amaxheko. Put the young guy on the bench. We just can't fight amaxheko what they've done.
Sabu bomb squad, sabu so.
Mna.
We just got
Sam.
we can't fight. Why?
Going into the World Cup, there has not been a stage where you take the same pair of locks, another pair of locks, just having the same guys all the time competing. Bebadala, you need a mixture. Hence, Grant Williams, Bengena, and Ndona Sam has been injured for quite a while, but Big Brody. Not Big Brody, Scott Barrett. It reward his form. He's doing well. White Lock, he must fight. He must fight for his position.
I go to Tilo Pace, that's his take, his hot take, his 2 cents, 1 cent, whatever it is.
50 cent.
Well, that's the Rugby Championship, I guess, Machita. No, Zamila, Katana Mangala Rugby Championship. But it's also Vangane, Manemaka, Banina, Nitandoni.
Please.
Yeah, Bomb Sambis, Siakok, yeah, about nature, but I presume talk. Are you going to need and of course we're going to engage with you guys. But yeah, thank you so much. Of course, once again, Buso Media. I'm at Totanis Peteka. Shout out to the Cortex Hub as well. And guys, thank you so much for joining me once again. Of course, now I'm a special guest, Mgredeni. Mr. Fanyago.
Greeny.
Beautiful Mgredeni. Thank you so much for joining us, man. And guys, please don't forget. Hit that subscription button. I'm so proud of myself. I can actually say it now. Hit that subscription button.
Subscription.
No manga, look.
Comment.
Subscription button. Thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you next week. Alright guys, so we all know that we've got the World Cups going on, netball. Back your ladies, please guys, don't be an ass. Please don't be an ass. Back your ladies in netball, they're doing very well for themselves. And of course, Banyana is also down in New Zealand right now, doing absolutely well for themselves. So back those 2 guys. Guys, ladies, please, bring it home for us guys. And good luck to you guys for the rest of the